may have watched your favorite cartoons countless times, but did you know there may be hidden messages and meanings behind them? Join us as we explore the secret messages and Easter eggs hidden in some of the most beloved cartoons of all time. Did you ever wonder why Baby Corp in Boss Baby looks the way it does? And have you spotted the code A113 in Pixar movies and wondered what it meant? The answer to that and a whole lot more next. Ask about the Illuminati. Let me set the scene. Scrooge McDuck, the richest duck in the world, is going for an eye test. Seems like a pretty innocent plotline, right? Wrong. As he's sitting in a chair waiting for the doctor to do his thing, something catches our eye in the background. It's not just any eye chart, my friends. Oh no, this one's a little different. Instead of the usual hodgepodge of letters and numbers, this eye chart spells out the phrase, "Ask about Illuminati." Cue the gasps from conspiracy theorists worldwide. Was this a prank from one rogue animator, or something much more sinister? Some people believe that this was a deliberate attempt by the creators of DuckTales to plant subliminal messages in the minds of innocent children, indoctrinating them into the secret society that is the Illuminati. Others think it was simply a harmless Easter egg, thrown in for the eagle-eyed viewers who were paying close attention. But who knows, maybe the Illuminati really is hiding in plain sight, using our favorite childhood cartoons to brainwash us into submission. Maybe Scrooge McDuck is actually the leader of the Illuminati, and all of his adventures were just a cover-up for their nefarious deeds. Okay, I'll stop now before I go too far down the rabbit hole. An almost real address. It's amazing how much attention to detail the creators of animated movies put into their work. You might think that everything on screen is just random nonsense, but oftentimes there are hidden Easter eggs that only the most eagle-eyed viewers will catch. Take Monsters University, for example. Don Carlton's business card might seem like a throwaway prop, but there's actually a clever reference hidden in there. The address on the card is 1200 Dark Avenue, which might sound like it's just a made-up address. But if you're a real Pixar fan, you'll know the actual address of Pixar's animation studios is 1200 Park Avenue in California. So the similarity between the two addresses is definitely no accident. It's details like this that make animated movies so much fun to watch. Every time you rewatch a film, you can discover something new that you didn't notice before. The Luxo Ball. Have you ever seen that yellow ball with the red star and blue stripe in the background of Pixar movies? Yeah, that one. That's the Luxo Ball. And it's more than just a colorful decoration. It's a symbol of Pixar's beginnings. You see, back in the day when Pixar was just a small animation studio trying to make a name for itself, they created a short film called Luxo Jr. It was a groundbreaking piece of animation that showcased the studio's talent and set the stage for the innovative work they would continue to produce for years to come. But what about that Luxo Ball, you ask? Well, it just so happens that the main character in Luxo Jr. is a lamp that loved to play with that iconic ball. It's no wonder that Pixar decided to include it in all their movies as a little nod to their humble beginnings. Now let's be real, folks, Pixar may be a powerhouse in the animation industry, but they haven't forgotten where they came from. That Luxo Ball is their own personal reminder that they started from the bottom and now they're here. Truly dead. The subtle art of storytelling. The little details that often go unnoticed can be the most powerful and thought-provoking ones. In the case of Gaston's demise, the animators of Beauty and the Beast went above and beyond to ensure that the message of his death was conveyed in a creative and tasteful way. The decision to not show Gaston's body hitting the ground was a wise one, as it would have been too graphic and disturbing for the young audience. Instead, the animators used a clever trick to suggest his demise without actually showing it. By adding little skulls in Gaston's pupils, they symbolically told the audience that he died. This detail is both eerie and poetic at the same time. It's eerie because the skulls suggest a sense of finality and mortality, and the fact that they're hidden in Gaston's eyes is a subtle reminder of his true nature. It's poetic because it adds a layer of symbolism to Gaston's character. He was vain, arrogant, and obsessed with his own image, and the skulls in his eyes are a fitting tribute to his self-destructive nature. Brave Sully. Brave. The Disney Pixar movie that's full of Scottish folklore, mystical transformation, and of course, bears. But what if I told you that there's a hidden surprise in the movie that's so unexpected, you'll have to rub your eyes and look twice? Yes, my dear viewer, I'm talking about the carving in a piece of wood that's central to the movie's plot. At first glance, you might assume it's a grizzly bear, fitting for a movie that's all about bears and their ferocity. But oh no, my friend, it's not a bear at all. Upon closer inspection, you'll see it's none other than Sully, the lovable blue monster from Monsters, Inc. Yeah, you read that right. Sully, a monster in a movie about bears in Scotland. Now you might be thinking, what the heck? How did that happen? Well, welcome to the Pixar multiverse. Caged Cinderella. Cinderella, the classic tale of rags to riches, magic mice, and a whole lot of singing. You know, it's a story that's been around for quite some time now, and you might think it's outdated, but you'd be wrong, my friend. There's a reason that this story has stood the test of time, and it's not just because of the catchy tunes. There's some serious symbolism going on in this movie, and it's not just in the form of talking animals. Take a look at this scene, where Cinderella's standing in her stepmother's bedroom, with the shadow of the window casting bars on her. It's a subtle detail, but it's so effective. It's like the animators are saying, hey, look at this poor girl, trapped in her own life. She's literally in a prison. It's a message that still rings true today, and that's what makes this story timeless. Dad's Dead. Disney's Three Little Pigs is undoubtedly a classic. But did you know that the Disney animators behind the 1933 adaptation of the story had a bit of a twisted sense of humor? Yeah, it's true. Despite being known for their wholesome and family-friendly content, the folks at Disney had a dark side, and they weren't afraid to show it in their animations. Case in point, the fate of the pig's father. Throughout the short film and in subsequent retellings of the story, the father is conspicuously absent. Instead, we see his remains in various forms of pork products, sausages, pork chops, and so on. Now, you might think that this is just a harmless little detail, something that would go over the heads of young children watching the movie. But consider the implications. The father's been killed, presumably by the same villainous wolf who threatens his offspring. And yet, there's no mourning, no sadness, no mention of a tragedy, just a bunch of tasty pork dishes. Baby boomers. The Baby Corp. It's an interesting concept that definitely caught our attention in the animated movie, The Boss Baby. The movie tells the story of a suit-wearing, briefcase-carrying baby named Theodore Templeton, who's actually a member of Baby Corp, an organization that produces babies and ensures their continued dominance over puppies in the love and affection of parents. One of the fascinating things about this movie is the way it presents Baby Corp's history. As mentioned, the company is shown to have been around since 100,000 BC. But what's even more intriguing is that their office design is inspired by the 1960s. But why did the filmmakers choose to give Baby Corp an office design that harkens back to the swingin' 60s? As it turns out, it's not just a random design choice. The 1960s were the peak of the baby boom era in the US, where there was a significant increase in the number of births compared to previous years. Baby Corp would have been churning out babies left and right to meet the high demand, and it's likely that the company made a fortune during this time. Misunderstood message. It's fascinating how a simple arrangement of letters can cause such a stir. The alleged appearance of the word sex in The Lion King caused quite a commotion, with parents and guardians around the world gasping in shock and horror at the supposed subliminal message. Disney's explanation that the letters are actually SFX certainly seems plausible. After all, it's not uncommon for films to pay homage to their crew members in subtle ways. But perhaps what's most interesting about this rumor is how it highlights our cultural obsession with finding hidden meanings in secret messages in popular media. From conspiracy theories about Illuminati symbolism in music videos, to fan theories about hidden plot twists in movies, we as a society seem to be constantly searching for something beyond what's readily apparent. A113. A113, the elusive Easter egg hidden in plain sight in almost every Pixar movie. You might be wondering, what's the deal with this mysterious number? Is it some kind of secret code? Is it the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe? Well, my curious friend, allow me to enlighten you. As it turns out, A113 is actually a clever inside joke between the animators at Pixar. You see, many of these talented artists hone their skills at the California Institute of the Arts, where they spent countless hours toiling away in classroom A113. It was there that they learned the finer points of animation, mastering the art of bringing characters to life and making us laugh, cry, and cheer. But why hide this obscure reference in their movies, you might ask? Well, for starters, it's a nod to their shared history and the bonds they forged while studying together. It's also a way to pay homage to the place where it all began, the classroom that helped shape their careers and inspire their creativity. But beyond all that, it's just plain fun. It's like a game of hide and seek for the most eagle-eyed viewers, a way to reward those who pay attention to the tiniest details. Now let's be real, who doesn't love a good Easter egg?